The Constitutional Court will tomorrow hear the Zondo Commission's application for Jacob Zuma to be declared in contempt of court. Critics say the former president is undermining the Constitution. But what do the elders of the African National Congress have to say about his defiance, and what steps should the party take? I'm joined now by ANC veteran Mavuso Msimang. Very good morning to you. What are the steps that should be taken here?
Well, I think in the first instance, thanks very much for inviting me. It's a very, very interesting period in our history. I believe that the ANC, like all other people in the country, will have to listen to the judgment, the decision of the court, and make an appropriate comment. As a rule, the ANC has recognized, accepted the leadership, the verdict of the court. So I think until that happens, it's difficult to say what they should do right now.
You talk as if the ANC is united, though, and we know it's not. So how does that continuing battle play out when it comes to something as important as this?
Well, one does. It's absolutely a reality that we are sadly disunited. The Secretary General seems to take his own line. I mean, using the recent example in Parliament when he doubted, questioned the authority of his colleagues on the so-called top six, and said as a body they have no authority because he had a position that was very different from theirs. He is completely unpredictable. Perhaps he is. He takes his own line that's different from that of the organization. That's what one can expect. I wouldn't be shocked at all if he did that. But then the ANC would be expected, if it did that, to take the appropriate action. And the appropriate action is to say, this is not the organization's line, and you keep quiet, or we take disciplinary measures against you. That's what would be expected. I don't know if that's what they will do.
And what should the disciplinary measures be? And in your opinion, should Jacob Zuma appear in court?
Oh, absolutely, he has to. I don't think that's the decision of the ANC. I would hope that the ANC accepts that he must appear in court. And if he didn't appear in court, the appropriate action really, to be honest with you, although this is speculative, I don't know what is going to happen. If he did do that, the ANC would have to say, our leader, former president, but our leader, cannot behave like this against the Constitution. And for me, absolutely, it would be to say he's not part of us, or he falls in line or falls out.
Okay, tell us about what is happening in the party at the moment. I mean, from my point of view, and I'm sure from many others in the country, we're just seeing a party unraveling. And it seems that so many of the politicians are so desperate to save themselves or save the reputation of the party that everything else is falling by the wayside. The vaccination rollout, for example, all that sort of stuff, what's happening when it comes to education. What is more important at the moment, saving the party, saving the country, or can you only save the country if we save the party? And if so, how do we do that?
Yeah, it is the sad reality. What you're saying is absolutely true. There have been efforts by many, the serious members of the organization, including the leadership, to get the organization renewing itself, getting into the straight and narrow of doing business. It is not happening because there are people in the leadership, clearly one of whom is the Secretary General, Ace Mahashule, who have their own agenda. There is no running away from that fact. The question would be, can he be persuaded to toe the line and do what the rest of the organization wishes to do? He argues, about conference resolution. They talk about some radical economic transformation. You know, all that, to be very honest with you, is just it's just a diversion. The issue is that he doesn't want to accept the authority of the organization, and he has mobilized some people to do that. And honestly, the ANC cannot continue like this because it's the governing party, and it is very costly to its image and to its functionality. Sooner than later, the whip needs to be cracked, and people are not doing what the ANC wants them to do.
And how, excuse me, jumping in, how should South Africans deal with it? I think everyone was heartened to see that Defend Our Democracy delegation standing up and saying that, you know, enough is enough. We know that they're going to be meeting with the Justice Minister today, so it'll be interesting to hear what comes out of that. But from our perspective, again, you see the Ace Magashule gaining in power. You see the Gumedes with that incredible support there. So it seems that when it comes to balance, that the unhealthy side of our society is winning. Is that true?
Well, I don't think they are, actually. I think you're dealing with megaphones here. Very strategic, they try very much to use the social media, and the social media
Good point.
Is effective in communicating messages. I honestly know that the vast majority of the ANC do not agree with the position that's being taken by Ace Magashule. So maybe instead of us speculating in the media about what it is, the leadership has really to take him on and take the necessary actions against people who are in defiance of the position of the ANC. The president and the NEC have taken a number of resolutions, and you then get somebody coming up and you hear people talking about meetings of radical economic transformation group. Is this an organization within an organization? I think the bluff must be called. Otherwise, people will, as you indeed ask and worry, believe that the ANC is completely incoherent, is unable to take control of itself. Yes, it will continue like that until really the leadership recognizes that the people who are going astray should not be given the space to do that.
Okay. Mavuso Msimang, always good to talk to you. Give us hope.